taste and the bad things that make fish. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish. Fish. Let's talk about fish, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that make fish. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish. Fish.
Well, let's talk about fish. That's what we're here to do. We're here to talk about fish. And by golly, we're going to do it too. As soon as I get my act together, that'll be the day. Here we go. I got it. 3G. Hey, 3G. Roman, Tam, Ruben, good morning. Naresh is here. Misfit is here. Tam and Ruben and I have been carrying on a conversation this morning about coffee. Coffee. If you get in before the start of the show, you can join in the chat. And it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun. What in the world just came up on my screen? Recent plays, whatever that was. All right. Oh, Tam is getting tangerine tigers. I'm getting some Tanganyikas today that I'm really excited about. There's some I haven't had before and a few I have, but some oddball stuff, as well as some West Africans that'll be real pretty. I really ought to do an opening with that, a box opening. It's not a big order. It's only, I think, 5 different species, but they're all very unusual. So we'll see. Maybe I can do that. My hope is to be able to keep them alive. Oh, let's see. Tam is saying, talking to Roman. Oh, I make hummingbird nectar with my sugar. Yeah, I understand that. My grandfather was like that. My grandfather drank his coffee. This is my father's father. He was a remarkable man. He was deaf. He and his wife, my grandmother, were both deaf, had been since early childhood. So they met at a school for the deaf, married and raised 3 children. One of whom, of course, was my father. When my father was about 14, he wanted to drink coffee. Now, he had been watching his father drink coffee all his life. His mother never drank coffee. I don't know what she drank. Water, probably. I don't know. Anyway, my grandfather would fill his coffee cup, or rather have Annie, his wife, fill his coffee cup half full. And then he would put 1/4 milk or cream, and then 1/4 sugar. And he would spoon the sugar. He would do maybe 5 or 6 spoons of sugar in the coffee. And then he never stirred it. He didn't stir it. He just drank it down because he liked the hummingbird nectar in the bottom of the cup. So my father thought this was to die for. He had to do it. So he asked his mother if he could have coffee. And she said, yes, of course. And so he got his first cup of coffee. He said, just half full. And then he got it. She handed him the cup and he reached for the cream and she said, no, 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 no. That cream is for your father, not for you. So he was a little disconcerted and he reached for the sugar. And his mother said, no, 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 no. That sugar is for your father, not you. If you want coffee, drink it black. Well, what to do? My father was not one to get upset. So he picked up the cup and he tasted the coffee. It was all right. So he drank some more. And then for the rest of his life, he always drank his coffee black. As do I. Oh, mercy, my fish tanks, aquatics. Good morning, dirted, fishy folks. Hello, my fish tanks. Nice to see. Oh, God, my mouth isn't working right today. Dennis Christensen. Good morning, good morning. Christina Whitaker. Hello, hello. Jason C. Sandy Diamond, Mermaids Chorus. 3G Ruben, Tam Shepard. We got everybody now. Roman Chirac. And Naresh is here somewhere. Misfit. Hello, Misfit. Right. That was, I think that's everybody. Let me get to the bottom and see who's here. Ruben Patricia. And we got them all. All right, now let's read some comments here. I love coffee, especially dark roast. The stronger, the better. Ruben. Yeah, me too. I like strong coffee. Oh, Pootie Tang lives. Is Pootie Tang here? Jason is saying Pootie Tang lives. Pootie Tang did an absolutely magnificent video for me a few months back that I played a number of times. It's a morning piece, and I really, really like it. There's just so many super duper cool things that people have done for this channel. It's really a joy. Misfit. Oh, well, here we go. Oh my God. Misfit Reptiles and Aquatics, Father Fish. Any tips on setting up a 2,000-gallon saltwater pond? I've got everything I need to do it, but is there anything I need to be weary of? Weary of. Yeah, that would make me weary of. Leery, I suppose, is the word you meant, but weary is perfectly appropriate. Are you by the sea? Can you get natural seawater? That would be the first consideration. That's a lot of gallonage. But if you can do it, that would be magnificent. Otherwise, you're going to have to mix up 2,000 gallons. That's about 4 buckets of salt at $50 a bucket. It's a couple $100. Drinking mine out of my father fish cup, Tam says. Me too. If you want to get your very own, there we go, father fish mug, complete with a picture of father fish aquarium, you may order so. I've got them in stock here. We don't have them on their website. J-Dog is not here yet. I'll have to have him put it up. You can get it directly. Go to PayPal. Fatherfish at fatherfish.net. It's $25, includes shipping, and you get a little gift or two with it. $25 to get your very own Fatherfish mug. Fatherfish at fatherfish.net on PayPal. Oh, oh wow. He's doing the pun in a greenhouse. Mercy. Ruben drinks black coffee too. No sugar. Yeah, I don't like sugar in it. Christina likes black coffee. I mean, Christina. Lived next to my grandma and grandpa. Grandparents adopted girls. My son was grandpa's buddy, and breakfast coffee was their little secret. That's fun. That's fun. Misfit, can I order it in? But I do have 6,000-gallon storage tanks. I can make it, no problem. Can you now Misfit? When you say you can order it in, can you order wild salt water? Because that would be ideal if you can get it. You need to go about 5 miles out though to be able to get really clear, clean water. Do a deep substrate. Do not deny yourself. Do a deep substrate. If you can get a yard of sand delivered, that should be enough to give you 3 to 4 inches of sand. And then what you might want to do is cap it with a half inch or so of crushed gravel, crushed oyster shell. I don't mean crushed gravel. I mean crushed coral, crushed oyster shell. Where do you live, Misfit? A crushed Florida rock is good. Let's see. Can get by the 50-gallon drum sent from one of my distributors in California. Really? Really? Isn't that interesting? Well, by golly, I think I would do it. If you could afford to do it, I would do it. It's going to give you a substantially better system. Now, a couple of clues with this. You're not, if you do the deep substrate and you do a cap and you've got pretty good light over it, you're not going to need to do water changes. But what I would do is hook up an RO system to it with a top off. You might want to have the RO running into a vat. That's the way I did mine. I had a 400-gallon tub that I kept full of RO water, and I put an auto fill, an auto top off on my saltwater systems in order to be able to maintain a stable salinity. That makes a big difference, because with evaporation, and particularly in a greenhouse, you're likely to have evaporation. You want to keep the salinity stable. It can vary much too widely, and is going to stress out whatever you've got growing in there. So I would do that. Hook up, if you use something as simple as a toilet bowl plunger with a cutoff, a toilet bowl cutoff. That's all I used in mine. I went to the hardware store and I bought a valve, attached the valve to a pipe going down in the tank, put the ball cock on it, and it worked brilliantly. And then hooked up my RO line to that so that I got straight RO coming in to compensate for evaporation. And it maintained an enormously stable environment. I think in 8 years, I never did a water change. I had two 4x8 trays, never did a water change. We have a guest here in the vestibule, and I'm going to have to bring him up. Here's Booty Tang. What are we looking at?
Well, just the same thing as always. The Pooty tank.
Oh, look at this. How pretty. Aren't they gorgeous? Have they spawned for you?
No, not yet.
They're real close. They will. That's a nice severum. That's my favorite of all the severums. And that looks like a red or red shoulder. It's got a lot of red in it. Yeah, that's really, really pretty.
We named him Big Red.
Big red, you betcha.
I
don't think I've ever.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I don't think I've ever seen a solid red severum. Have I? I don't think I have. But they're pretty fish. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's all right. So my challenge now is this Madagascar lace plant that just won't stay together. Is it the fish attacking it, the snails, or is it just something in the water parameters, which check out totally fine?
What do you mean it won't stay together? The leaves are breaking. Oh, yeah. See. Is that a master lace?
Yeah.
It is, huh? Boy, it's really chewed up, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's either the fish or I don't know. I don't know what's doing it, but you're right. Something's sure chewing it up. I'll tell you what would help. You've got some nice plants in there, but if you would put in something as an alternative to that for whoever it is who's chewing, to have something other, like, almost hate to do it, but just some common, like an acarus, something you can float in there maybe that they will chew on instead of that. Tank looks great. I like it.
Look at that deep substrates.
That is indeed, isn't it? What's the solid? What's the gray color? Oh, that's the front of the tank. Yeah, this goes down a ways, doesn't it? What's that, about 3 inches altogether? And you've got the black sand on top.
Oh, that's my finger, and I'm 6 foot tall.
Yeah, just about 3 inches. Nice.
And then around the back, of course, it gets deeper.
Deeper. Oh, very good. Yeah.
Probably about 6 inches at the back at the deepest points.
Yeah, the Madagascar lace is such a beautiful plant, and it's a shame to have it being beaten up like that. Try putting something. I'll tell you what you might do if you don't want to put an acris in. Feed them spinach or some other green. See if that'll. If it's a plant eater doing it, even a snail, and you can, if it's a snail, you can weight it down so it stays on the bottom, so the snails can get to it. But that might solve the problem.
Yeah, I had to take my peace lily and my pothos off the top because the snails kept going up into it and getting out. I was spending too much money on snails.
Yeah, they'll do that, won't they? They climb right out. Particularly nereids will do that. Nereids they're a kind of a semi-aquatic snail. I mean, they're fully aquatic, but if they have a chance to get out of the water, they'll take that chance. That's pretty nice. I love the severum. Beautiful fish. And the blues are stunning. Nice little selection of fish there. Is that a Mangrove? Is that a Mangrove?
Colombian tetras, the
Unreal.
Corridoras, the green Corridoras.
Yeah. Aeneas.
The electric blue acaras, the ram, the severum.
Is that a Bolivian ram or?
I don't know. I need to make my way back over to Forest Lake Pets because they're the only place I've ever seen this albino fish, and they call it something different. It starts with a W.
Huh, don't know. That's pretty nice. Yeah, find out. Be interested to know. Very nice.
But he's super pearled. Like every single scale is just pearls.
Wow, wow.
I know
Pretty.
you can't see that on here because of reflections and.
Yeah, it'd be fun to get a few more of them. That would be a good one to spawn. That's probably a fairly uncommon fish.
And he wasn't cheap.
I dare say. I dare say.
You know, the outside of the corridoras, the cheapest fish in here was the severum.
Oh yeah.
Well,
and that's
no,
not a
I
cheap
take that
fish.
back. The Colombian tetras, but as a
Right. Right.
having to get the group.
Right. Very nice. I love it.
And this guy's making an appearance for us. My pest. The Chinese algae eater.
Algae eater, right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they are too. They get big and they are a pest, but they do a good job and they really don't bother other fish. Is that a pleco in the back corner?
No, that's
an algae eater.
Yeah, that's the Chinese algae eater.
Oh, that's him. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
He's got his little spot back there. Well, thank you very much, Putty Tang. Appreciate you coming up.
Yeah, he likes to harass the severum sometimes.
Right.
Latch onto his side, and
yeah, very nice.
As much as I've tried to get him out of there and rehome him, I can't.
Oh, you need a big net.
Yep.
A 10-inch net. You'll be able to get him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me get back over to the chat here. Thank you, Putty Tang, very much. Appreciate it. Take care. Oh, let's see. A Misfit saying that was my plan with the substrate. Lots of live rock too, about a ton's worth. And I'm in northern Ohio. That's why it's going in a greenhouse. It's going to be spectacular. You'll be amazed what you'll be able to do in there. You also want to get macroalgae. Macroalgae will provide a number of things that will substantially enhance the biodiversity in your system and make it possible then for you to raise and breed some of the more exotic gobies. That'll be magnificent. We need pictures. Who else is here? 3G is here. Hey, 3G, how are you? You put me here. Nice to see you.
Yes, sir. I just want to jump up here right quick when y'all was talking about the severums. Yeah. I have some in this tank.
Oh, aren't they gorgeous?
And this tank had a lot of plants in it. And if you see, there's a lot of plastic plants in it now. Those severums shredded everything.
Yeah, they will do that.
And so I believe that's what Putty Tang was having a problem with there. His severums are shredding his lace plant.
What you might try to do is get a, I don't know what kind of plant you had, but anacris is a good one.
I did have some. Fast. I had some of that in there. I had some frog bit on the surface. I had Amazon swords in there, and wisteria.
Okay.
And there was, it was pretty fair amount, but I just ended up taking it all out because they were just shredding it. I mean, just shredding it every day. I was getting netfuls of leaves and stuff out of there.
Huh, yeah.
And so I just put some plastic plants in there. And
yeah. Now I did it. I had a 200-gallon with a lot of big stuff in it, including
This,
things like severum and whatnot. And I kept that planted mostly with Amazon swords, but I
yeah,
also fed a fair amount of leafy vegetables, spinach and romaine and so forth.
right. And I've been putting algae wafers in there, and they tear the algae wafers up. The Severums do. The Oscar.
Yeah.
He,
Tell you that I've been thinking about this lately. Um, an alternative, a good alternative to algae wafers is rabbit pellets, rabbit food, not
oh, really?
rabbit poo. Yeah, it's the same stuff. It's actually alfalfa,
Okay.
and it breaks up more easily. It'll disintegrate pretty quickly, but it's a real high quality food for fish. You don't want to overdo it because it'll create a lot of mulm, but it's also a whole lot cheaper, and it'll work better as a food because they'll be able to get more of it.
You see that Severum over there looking at that floating plastic plant? He uprooted that plant last night. Coming back for some more.
Pretty fish, pretty fish. I like your red Oscar.
Yeah, he's a ham. He's crazy.
Yeah.
And turquoise rainbow fish.
Oh, how nice. Yeah. What's the gray guy in the middle?
That is a turquoise Severum.
Oh, okay.
And then I have two gold Severums
Two
that were
golds,
sold.
right.
Yeah, they were sold to me as red spots, but they do not have any spot on them. They're just plain gold.
It may come out later when they get bigger. Also, they might be female, which
And
is not going to have nearly.
This is a 125,
Hmm.
and it looks may be deceiving. They're pretty big.
That's a nice tank. Yeah, sure. That's a 4 foot. Is it
6 foot.
6 foot? Okay. Okay.
6 foot. It's
Wow. Nice. Great tank.
it's got a deep, dirted, deep substrate in it, and I had to cap it with some pebbles to keep when I put the cichlids in there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Right.
They had to stirring up the sand bad.
Yeah. 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 Well, that works. That works real well. Love it. Thank you, 3G.
All right, yeah, I just wanted to let you know them Severums love them plants. I guess if they're the right one.
Yeah, try what I suggested. That might allow you to get plants back in there if you give them enough of an alternative.
I'll give it a try, sir. I'm off to work. Have a good day.
Take care. You too. Bye-bye for now. Very nice. Oh, let's see if I can jump back in here. The auto top-off was one of the first plans. I set 2,000's a lot to be checking constantly. Filtration, 1,300-gallon pump. I built out of 3 stock tanks. That's going to make a big difference. And if you will treat that sump, put a light on that sump, and give it a chance to grow macroalgae. Also, do deep substrate in the sump as well. You can also load it up with rock. It'll be a really good haven for microfauna. That will be nice. Mermaid's course, beautiful colors. Yeah, that was nice, wasn't it? Nano Aquarium guy. Good morning. Let's see. Tam has baby blues that are 2 weeks and 2 days old. Still with the parents, doing well. Nicole said, I thought those blue carrots were turquoise. Yeah, they do look turquoise, don't they? Jason, hello. Yeah, they have a bit of turquoise color. Well, we have another visitor this morning. Sandal feet. Hello. So what is this we're looking? I thought I saw babies there for a minute. I did. Tam. Oh, it's Tam. Hi, Tam. Sandal feet. You got me with that one. Look at this. Yeah, your volume is way, way, way low. Tan. Can you crank it up? I cannot hear you. They're beautiful. Look at them. Mother and father guarding the babies. Ham, I can't hear you. That's better. Do it again. Oh,
Maybe I need to be closer. Does that work?
that's perfect.
Okay. The tank's a little dirty right now. I just wanted to show you my blues. Mom and Dad get really upset when I get too close, but
Look at them. They look great. Oh, that's wonderful.
They had their morning baby brine shrimp, and all of their bellies are all nice and pink.
You bet. How are you hatching out your shrimp? Are you using decap or regular?
No, I'm using regular.
Okay. So you're siphoning them out, the hatch?
Yes.
That works perfectly well.
Yeah, I'm hatching out a batch about every other day, and then I
Okay.
just keep them in the fridge.
Right. That works. Now, tell you a good trick. When you come to the end of the hatch and you've got that water you need to throw out, set a container, some kind of a tub outside, and throw it in that. It's not going to attract mosquitoes. But what will happen is it will grow adult brine shrimp.
Oh.
And that's all you need to do is put them in just set a container outside, and that end of the batch that you've got, throw it in there rather than flushing it down the drain. And in a matter of a week, you're going to have half-grown adult brine. In 2 weeks, you'll have fully grown brine, and they will begin breeding in there. So all it needs is sunlight to be able to grow algae. They eat algae. So it's a real simple way to grow out brine. You won't get a lot, but it'll be pretty cool. Move close. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say Mom was getting a little
I see
hairy
that.
with me being so close.
Right. That's wonderful. Thank you, Tam. This is
You're
beautiful.
welcome.
Yeah, we've been watching this on Discord on a regular basis, so it's fun to see it here.
Yeah, I'm kind of addicted to these babies. They're my pride and joy.
Well, that is a joy, isn't it? It's
It
great
really
fun
is.
to be able to do that. It really is amazing. This gives you a whole different experience. Well, very nice. Thank you, Tam.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, take care. Bye for now. See you over on Discord. Very nice. Jason, I wish the camera could capture my custom painted background properly. It has a bit of a holographic effect. Too coldy for schoolie. Big City Bettas. Misfit Nocturnal Aquarius has amazing mangroves. You can find them on Instagram or Facebook. Yeah, I was noticing Misfit's talking about doing a mangrove. Let's get back to that. And I have a refugium with a bunch of black mangroves. Nice. Yeah, I usually get mangroves going around this time of year when the pods are falling. I just bring a handful of pods in and stick them in the tanks and see what's going. Let's see, I got a couple of them here. They have not started sprouting yet. But I've got them in water. Once they start to sprout, then I'll stick them down in the dirt. Have I got a root there? Not yet. Nothing yet. I just float them until they get started. Farhan Sazali. Hello, Farhan. Farhan. Let me see. I'm looking on two different servers here. Oh, that's a thought. Christina Whitaker. When my neurite snails climb out, I check my water. They warn me something is wrong. Yeah, I think that's right. They normally will stay in the water, but they can come out, and they do come out, and they'll do that, particularly if the O2 level drops. Good point. Ivanurite likes to stay inside the tube on my sponge filter. It's Patricia. Is that strange? I would say that's strange. Strange animals, aren't they? The new video I just put out about parasites goes into a little of that. The unusual behavior of certain animals that have parasites that causes them to come to the attention of predators that the parasite would like, to migrate into. Very interesting concept. Fiddler crabs. Oh, God. Fiddler crabs are terrible escape artists. Yeah, fiddler crabs prefer to be half of their life is out of the water. And they will burrow down deep enough to get down to the water level, burrow down in sand to get down to the water level, and then they can come up. But they also will burrow in areas, like particularly in flats, where the tide will go out and leave it dry, and then they'll come up and feed, feeding on algae primarily. Neat little animals. I kept them years and years ago. I brought some back from Florida when I lived in Maryland, and I kept them in a deep sand system that had water on only up to a certain level, so there was sand up out of the water. And they lived in there for a couple of years. I had 2 or 3 of them, I think. That was fun. GM Detroit and Fishy. Hello. All right, let me get back down to the bottom here. Let's see. Amber, how you doing this morning? Nice to see you here. Wanting to ask, is your office use AC? Yes. What's the temperature of the tanks behind me? It's about 78. My bottom tanks get cold though, because there's a vent right under them, and I've not put heaters in there. I've got heaters in several of my tanks here in order to keep them up. Curiously, I do not have a heater in this 40 gallon. I do in this 40. So this one stays at about 84, 85. This one stays at about 78. And the fish in here do better than the fish in there. Curious, isn't it? And these are at about 78. So my ambient temperature in here is about 78. On the bottom, it gets cold. It'll get down to 70. Oh, I didn't turn the lights on here this morning. As I mentioned before, I haven't done anything with those tanks. There's their siren. looking for worms, and the turtle is looking for. Everybody's looking for food today. There is a musk turtle in here somewhere, or at least it was. I hope it didn't climb out. I haven't seen it in a while, but they're pretty secretive, reclusive. Let's see. Rural iron rich Minnesota well water. Sounds perfect to me, Jason. Rowan's talking. Oh, Rohan is here. Hi, Rohan. 100 including the tubs and humus and leaves. Talking about TDS. J-Dog. Ocean in a bag not available. J-Dog, I want to put the cup, the mug on the in the store. It's $25. There should be a picture of it somewhere. I'll try to find one if we ain't got one. All right, I'm missing a bunch, and I'm not going to go back and try to catch it. Planning out a 20 high rack unit for the screen porch to breed rams, a pistos, and a cara. Hard to work when you want to aquabid. Amen to that. Yeah, I have not put my product on aquabid yet. I really need to do that. If I do, I'm going to get swamped, and that's probably why I haven't done it. But I've been 25 years ago. I had a pretty good business going on aquabid. I was selling mostly very fancy bettas before there was such a thing as fancy bettas. Mostly crown tails. When they first came in, nobody had crown tails. So I was the king of crown tails on aquabid, and then sold other oddball stuff. But it was great fun. I really enjoyed that and did really well with it. I probably need to get back to it. I've just been getting things put together here enough to be able to ship routinely without a big hassle, and I think I'm about there. Well, that'll be really nice, Amber, to 20 high rack. Interesting, yeah. Rams, a pistos, and a cara. TDS of my tap water is 82, says Rohan. That's pretty interesting, isn't it? Huh. $55-gallon is hooked to a canister as 150. All pretty low. Oh, I'm really surprised about that. I'm assuming your water is runoff. Winter or snow runoff, which is going to be pretty pure. Jason talking about how the local saltwater only store test it from the tap after RO and RDI. They advised against saltwater for me because of high TDS. Well, the solution for that is to cover the tank so you get very little evaporation. Do a deep substrate with a lot of live rock in it, and you won't need to do water changes. Then whatever minimal evaporation you get, you can buy RO water pretty cheaply and be able to top off with RO water. Obviously, if you're going to do major water changes routinely, you don't want to use hard tap water, but you don't have to do major water changes routinely. you can set up your tank so it doesn't require that. Christina, crawdads, I keep them in my bait well to eat the shiners that die. Ton of little crawdad bodies I keep finding when I clean. Interesting. 98 big city bed is had about 98 tanks in that room, so they held temperature very well. Basically, just walls of tanks. Yeah, that's one of the ways people heat their homes and cool their homes is having a wall of water. It does a large body of water holds temperature pretty well. It absolutely does work. Misfit. Majority of my tanks does the same in my fish room. Let's see, Tam Shepherd Teespring. I didn't wear my father fish shirt this morning. I'll wear it again Friday. Can you tell me how I can raise my TDS? I want to get it to 500. What do we do to raise TDS, total dissolved solids? Well, let's see who's got some ideas here. If I order some Madagascar to put my angel tank, would they eat it? Probably not, Tam. Although you don't have any other plants in there, or not much. You need to put a lot of plants in there. I would not have Madagascar as the only plant. I believe high nitrates and TDS are proportional, Rohan says. I don't think that's true, but I don't know for certain. Maybe somebody else will have a thought about it. Jason, there's a place near Minneapolis called Oddball Plates. They have the worst Google and Yelp reviews and plenty of BBB complaints. The only time I wouldn't recommend a local pet store versus a big box. Yeah, that's kind of interesting, that whole Google and Yelp reviews. My reviews in my shop were about 95% super positive and 5% super negative. The people who did not like it were the people who liked the big box stores because they were sterile. And my shop was not sterile. My tanks, they would come in to say, "Oh my God, once you get all that algae out of those tanks," and of course, they were talking about hundreds of dollars worth of very fancy plants. So there's some people who just they don't get a developed aquarium. Sometimes they come around. Let's see. Oh, Big City Bettas, never forget seeing my first crown tail in the shop. I was 9 and they blew my mind. They were introduced 96, 97. That's right. That's when I started selling them. Up until about 2000. I was on Aquabid about 95, 96 to 2000. And Seagrass Farms was getting them in. But they didn't really know what they were, and they didn't separate them out. So I was buying them for $1.50. And I sold one for $240. It was pretty remarkable. It was a koi crown tail, magnificent. But I got them in a lot of colors. Now you can't buy those fish that way. Now they grade them, and they've got a range of prices that go all the way up to $25 wholesale. Wholesale, Mike. Amazing stuff. I love crown tails, always have. Christina found a giant bucket of salt for a saltwater tank for $2 at a discount store. Wow. Using it to hatch brine. Have decap now. Are there any other uses? Yeah, set up a tank. And we'll ship you ocean in a bag. And you can have pygmy seahorses now that you're hatching brine. So you'll be able to feed them. That'll be exciting. Big do I want at the time they were expensive. God bless my grandpa for buying me my first pair. Wonderful. Oh, yeah, I just have always loved it. That's always been my favorite. Always loved the crown tail. And there's a lot of variation in those points as well. Oh, 89% negative. How in the world did they stay in business? About May, more fresh water coming in, like constant water change. Oh, I see. He's saying that, I think I know, I lost it. Rohan, there it is. Like 55 gallon had high nitrates above 40 to 80. The TDS was high too compared to the other system with low nitrates. Interesting. 40 to 80 nitrates I don't consider high. High nitrates for me is above 250. I've had nitrates as high as 500. Yeah, Carol. It was only 5. It was uncommon, but boy, when it came like thunder. I had one couple came in. They were absolutely death on the store. And they kept turning me in to Fish and Wildlife. And of course, anytime they get a complaint, they have to follow up on it. So they were out there every day for a month, probably. And it got so bad that we had the feds coming in. The Federal Department of Agriculture was coming in to evaluate our system. Never got a black mark. I mean, I never got written up. Through all that period, they never wrote me up once. So that was kind of nice that we were able to pass that level of hyper investigation. I have a friend who owns a zoo in Maryland. I mentioned it before. It's the Catoctin Zoo. At one point last year, I think it was, PETA was filing complaints against them every day. They did it for the entire season, which meant they had Fish and Wildlife coming in every day, investigating this, that, or the other thing. Again, never got written up. They finally wound up setting up donuts and coffee for the Fish and Wildlife people because they were there every day. And I think it probably helped. But they had an immaculate facility, absolutely immaculate and beautiful, very heavily planted, lots of wildflower, just a really beautiful place. Let's see, looking at brands of hydrometers, is there one better than another? I recommend the glass tube. I've got one here somewhere. I don't know where, I don't think I know where it is. They are more accurate. No idea. No idea where I have it. I should get out and check it. I like the glass. The plastic ones are fine. They do tend to stick and they will tend to break at times. But then it's easier to break the glass ones for that matter. Be careful how you keep it when it's not in the tank. You can leave it in the tank permanently. That works too. J-Dog, drink coffee with Father Fish. FatherFishAquarium.net. Oh, good. All right. So we got the coffee mug up. Dynamite. I love it. Thank you, J-Dog. Heard of people getting turned in because their horses were outside. Yo, perish the thought. Most times it's jealousy. I think it's arrogance and stupidity. I think that's really what it is. I think people who do that consider themselves superior human beings who are put on this earth to judge and condemn others. I think it's that kind of mentality. And they need to be knocked down a few pegs. You know, the best way to deal with people like that is to ignore them, completely ignore them, treat them as though anything they have to say is utterly worthless drivel, because it is. Some pics of the old mugs. Oh, good. Wonderful. Thank you. J-Dog. New video about parasites Naresh is posting. A lot of fun. We had a problem with it. I posted it without checking it. And I had videoed a speech by a parasite expert, and it was illegible. It was uncurable. It had such a terrible echo, you couldn't hear anything. So when that came to my attention, I privatized the video immediately and asked Naresh to cut that out because I don't know how to do it, which he did a beautiful job on. Put it back up, and now it's dying. So we need help with that video. Anything you can do to be supportive. Watch it, post a comment, share if you can. Please do share. It's a great video. It's a story that nobody has ever told, at least on YouTube, about parasites. It's just really remarkable. Do check it out and do share it if you would all can. It's a video that really needs to get much wider reach, and right now it's getting little or none. I think about 150 views after a full day, so it's in trouble. Roman saying, so big city Bettis, yet your grandpa wrapped around your figure. I'll bet you. Well, she can wrap this grandfather around her figure, I'll tell you. I just love what Big City Bet is doing with this. It's just amazing. And she is so excited and so absolutely up about it all the time. It delights my heart. Absolutely does. PETA, pretty terrible if you dig into what they really do. Absolutely true. They probably kill more pets than any other organization, short of probably the SPCA. They put down millions of animals. Millions. Last vid, Green Machine Sweden. Last vid from the natural koi pond. We'll need to watch that. J-Dog liked the parasite video. Green Machine agrees on parasites. Yeah, parasites can be your friend. You got to be a little cautious about it. But the real secret is to have as broad a biodiversity as you can, because that keeps them in check. In point of fact, they keep each other in check. They're parasites who parasitize, is that the word, on other parasites. Misfit, J-Dog, pretty crazy what they do. I'm pretty big into the reptile hobby too. And it's absolutely outrageous what they're trying to do to this country. It makes my heart hurt. Yeah, they don't even want people to keep pets. No pets. No pets of any kind. Not fish, not dogs, not cats, not birds, nothing. No pets. No pets. These are people who absolutely hate nature. They hate nature. They demand to be utterly and absolutely separated from nature. Keep me away from nature. That's why I joined PETA, to hate hate nature. They're insane people. Insane people. To the extent that anyone pays attention to them, you are in. Let me calm down a little. You are assimilating into your soul the insanity of this mad cadre of violent lunatics. They ascribe to evil. I'm not going to say they're evil, but they certainly project evil. They participate in evil. They share in evil. They promote evil. Anyone who demands the separation of human beings from nature is fundamentally engaging in evil thought and evil discipline, and must be opposed most bitterly. Evil people. Bob May, whenever I see a fat fish, my mind goes straight to parasites. Saw a fish die with blown up stomach. So many wriggling things inside it. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's true. Can be. It's a mixed bag with parasites, isn't it? They get a bad rap because they are frankly most deserving of it. But there are unique aspects to parasites. In order to really be able to control your environment, to keep parasites out, the very best way to do it is not to try to keep a sterile tank, because that never works. Try to keep a tank with as much biodiversity in it as you can, because that will control the parasites. There are lots of things that control parasites. You know, they don't have free range. They're eaten by lots of stuff, and they're eaten by a lot of things that kill them. Too coolly for Scully, preach. Yeah, I know. Let's see. J-Dog makes an interesting comment. There's species of fish that are only alive because we have them in our tanks. Absolutely true. There are plenty of fish that have gone extinct in the wild that exist only in only in aquariums. They don't exist in native habitat. And of course, there are fish that have been developed as strains of fish in the industry, in the hobby, that do not exist in the wild. So, Craig's Catfish Cave. Hello, Craig Doniger. We need animals in captivity as we're wiping them out in the wild. Well, we do, and the tropical fish hobby is doing its part to maintain species that are threatened in the wild. Greg Donover, I love any animal. I know. Leeches are used in medicine, Carol says. Yes, they are. They kill more than they rehome. They kill vastly more than they rehome. Right. How are we doing here? We are over a limit. I think Jess is not coming up on Wednesdays, so we can run over a bit. We'll give it a few more minutes. Do clowns eat baby guppies? Had an emergency and I had to put mine in my wild tank. Christina Whitaker. I don't know what you're referring to. What kind of clown? Saltwater clown? Clown loach? Clown killie? What clown are you referring to? Green machine. Parasites are present in most aquariums. That's right. Ponds and natural waters. Healthy fish have immune systems to deal with it. Absolutely right. Weak fish get infestations big enough to kill them. But the reason is not the parasite. That's absolutely right. And that is precisely the key, Green Machine. If you want to control parasites, keep your tank healthy, which will keep your fish healthy. If you're overfeeding your tank and building up waste and causing excess bacteria and fungus to bloom, it's going to affect the health of the fish. And as their health deteriorates, they become susceptible to attack by parasites. Under normal circumstances, fish are not susceptible to parasites if they're healthy and strong and vigorous. So it's, again, a good reason to have a balanced aquarium with a lot of biodiversity, because it will help the fish to be stronger and healthier. Give Father Fish some love, hit the like button. Greg Donover, where are we with the like button? Go look. We have 34, 45 watching. Let me click it. I haven't clicked it. 35. Balance is the most important word in life. Carol Cox, indeed it is. And it's really key to being able to maintain a healthy fish. Rohan says anything fish can fit in their mouths, they will eat. I was talking to somebody yesterday about this. I had an experience years ago. I had a really big tank, and I put angels, small angels, and neons in. Lots of them, 100 neons, 25 angels. And they did brilliantly together. And they grew together for month after month after month after month. And as the angels got big, they hit a certain point where all of a sudden, neon started disappearing rapidly. And it didn't take long, a week, for every neon to be gone. The angels ignored them until they were big enough to eat them. And once they were big enough to eat them, they ate them all. So yeah, they get along fine.